It's a picture that has shaped Western art and architecture and even music and literature. It's iconic and it's everywhere, from crossroads to churchyards, from street names to pub names, from Normandy D-Day memorials to our national flags. From Denmark to the Dominican Republic, from Finland to Fiji, from Norway to New Zealand, from Slovakia to Sweden, Australia, Greece, the Union Jack, all of these flags contain it. Military medals and awards use it, the highest awards bestowed by the British government for operational and non-operational gallantry, the Victoria Cross, the George Cross. It's on ambulances and first aiders. Then there's the Red Cross. Then there's the beating heart of our capital city, King's Cross. It's used, it's abused, it's misused. It's one of the most powerful and pervasive symbols in the world. Secular filmmakers understand the power and impact of the cross on their viewers. Now, it's an undoubted historical fact. Jesus of Nazareth died by Roman crucifixion at the hands of Pontius Pilate in the reign of Emperor Tiberius about 2,000 years ago. But for many, it's not for me. You know, Jesus dying on a cross, it's barbaric, it's brutal, it's weird. But for millions, it's one of the most significant events in world history. Why? Recently, historian Tom Holland has demonstrated the impacts of the cross on Western society and how, as he puts it, trace elements of Christianity infuse people's morals and presumptions like dust particles breathed in equally by believers, atheists, and so on. But there's more to it than that. Mark Kermode, the UK's leading film critic, notes that no matter how trashy our view of the cross becomes, and he cites Madonna and horror scenes and gangster movies, as he puts it, there is behind it still an absolute anxiety that it means more than that. Back in March 2018, a gunman stormed a supermarket in a small French town. He killed 2 people and took hostages, and the gunman seized a woman and used her as a human shield. The police were trying to rescue people. Lieutenant Colonel Arnaud Beltrame, a local police officer, arrived on the scene. He volunteered to take her place. When the police eventually stormed the building, they found that Beltrame had already been shot and he died the following day. He swapped places with her. He gave up his life for hers. An amazing sacrifice. About 2,000 years ago, Jesus died on the cross as a cosmic sacrifice, not for innocent victims, but for us. For those who have repeatedly rejected him, to bring us God's forgiveness, to bring us back to God. The English novelist and poet Anne Bronte put it like this: "He that gave his blood for men will bring us home to God again." The Bible tells us, and common sense and life experience confirms it, we've not always lived as we should. We've said horrible things, we've done foolish things, we've thought malicious things, we've been greedy, we've been selfish, we've mucked up, messed up, missed the mark, we've neglected to do what we ought to do and done what we shouldn't have done, and we need God's forgiveness. But someone has to pay the price for our wrongs, someone has to cover the cost, someone has to take the rap, and that's what Jesus did on the cross. He's punished in our place. He's arrested so we can be released, bound so we can be freed, sentenced so we can be sent home, condemned so we can be saved, punished so we can be pardoned. He's forsaken so we can be forgiven. You might say, oh, the cross, it's just not for me. It's all a bit medieval, it's barbaric, it's crucifixion. but the horror of it, the seeming injustice of it, the innocent one brutally executed, should draw our attention. We need to ask why. Why did the innocent one die? Why did Jesus go willingly to the cross? And why do we still cover our landscapes and even adorn our bodies with a symbol of Roman execution? Unless something very significant is happening in the shocking crucifixion of Jesus of Nazareth. We believe it's not just a great example of sacrifice to follow, though it is, not just a great event of global history, though it is, not just a moment which has shaped the Western world, though it has, but this is the moment when God brings his forgiveness, his pardon, his rescue, and that you too can find his forgiveness for your wrongs where we find forgiveness for our wrongs at the foot of the cross of Christ.